I think it's important to recognize that if you're a thinker, a T, that doesn't mean you don't have feelings. You don't get off the feeling hook.
Right.
But you have a tendency to lead with your thinking. Or if you're a feeler, you tend to lead or trust your feelings. And so it's very easy to profile people on this one, because all you have to do is you're having a conversation and you just say, so what do you think about that? And they're like, it's cool.
Yeah.
And then you say, well, how do you feel about it? And they'll 20 minutes of they have deep connection to that.
That's right.
Or vice versa.
Yeah.
Right. So in the T and the F, which one are you?
I'm a T.
Yeah.
But I think I think I'm pretty strong T. But I think that's starting to wane a bit with my 15-year-old, almost 16-year-old daughter.
Who's an F?
Who well, clearly she's either an F or she's just generally an F as being the age she is.
Yeah, teenagers are.
But definitely learning
how
to understand feelings and appreciate feelings. Not everything is logical, and I can easily appeal to logic, and it just makes sense.
Yeah.
Not only do I have intuition, but here is the case as to why I can line it all out.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. And my wife's the same way. She's actually an E in FP. I'm an E in TP.
So you only have one difference, and it's this TF.
Yeah. And our P's are off. I'm really intense P. She's not. But in the feeler, that's an area where our relationship is shown.
Yep.
Differences and opportunity for conflict, but also for me to learn because of my strong personality. To not override, but to learn to actually pull back and go, wait a second, I can tell you're feeling something. I don't do this perfectly, but the times when I do that in my relationships, especially my wife or my daughter, it pays off huge, because then they tend to open up and come alongside to the thought process.
Yeah.
And together we make a better decision.
It turns out they're good thinkers. They just lead with their feelings. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
I often think about, well, actually, you just brought up a notion that's important. You're a heavy T, but your F is starting to, you feel yourself moderating that, right? That's because one of the languages that we'll use around personality is, this is the way I'm hardwired, right? I'm just built this way, that kind of thing. And we used to think that way, but we don't anymore. We've disproved that. There's a plasticity to personality. There is fluidity to it. Right. We're able to move. And so you can think the test will come back and say you're a 97% T, or some heavy significant preference towards T. Now, but you can move that around in your lived experience. You probably can't move it so far that you would be a heavy F. That's too much, right? But you can moderate this stuff. And I think that when we take these surveys, I just called it a test, which is a mistake, because a test implies that you could fail it.
Yeah.
And you can't fail these. There is no wrong answers.
That's right.
But when we take these surveys, one of the things I always tell clients to do is take it pretty fast. Don't overthink it.
Right.
It's your first impulse, and be impulsive, because there's a way in which we're testing your strong preferences, not your maturity.
Correct.
And it depends is a pretty good answer to a lot of things. But what's that first impulse? That's your identifier.
Right.
And then as we mature and grow, we become more fluid, and we're able to navigate, like you're saying, because there's more important things than being a T in the world.
Yeah.
Having a good relationship with your daughter turns out is more important.
Well, and employees too. I mean, some of your employees, they're not good. You can't appeal to them if you're a T through as much of logic or facts. Even though facts are true, feelings are real, right? And feelings, although they're real, are not always true, right? So there is a level of that. And so I think as leaders, if you've got someone who's a high F and you're coming at the argument or the case or the point you're trying to make through logic, but they just are feeling misunderstood, which is a lot of times in leading in a work environment where they just want to be understand that you feel them, you understand them. And the minute you come over and go, okay, let me hear what you're saying. Are you saying you feel this? They feel validated. Then a lot of times they'll come over and be able to appreciate the facts and make the decision you want them to do, or at least you become open to the wider context of what they might be feeling. I've even found in those cases, sometimes they're pinging something that's in my blind spot.
Right.
Because they're feeling something. They may be the loudest feeler, but they're actually representing a voice within a multitude or maybe a majority of my company that I'm missing because I'm just so locked
into the
fact.
logical side
Correct.
of the equation.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.